Hey, I'm Jeff Kennan, and today we're talking about the need for good leaders. See, more than ever in our country and in our world, inadequate leadership is on display 24 hours a day. I think about good leaders and what we look for and how easy it is that people who desire to be in leadership, who have good motives and a good heart, eventually run astray. How does that happen? Well, a lot of our leaders we have today are not really leaders, but they're followers. I don't know if you've ever struggled with weight. Clearly I have, and so I can speak to this, that when you decide that it's time to lose weight, you start putting focus and intentionality around what you eat, where you eat, how often you eat, and very quickly you run into the fact that at every street corner, every gas pump, everywhere you go, everything you listen to on the radio has advertisement for food that isn't good for you. It's because there's money behind it. Ultimately, a lot of the leaders that we have, unfortunately, our system allows for this thing to happen to where we have folks that aren't really leading, they're following, and they're part of a system that can be corrupted. See, one of the things that I think happens is we start to follow leaders who attach themselves on to clickbait. So they have a camera, they have a voice, they get followership because they're saying something that people want to hear, and the next thing you know, they become a national leader when really some of the basic leadership principles that are needed are completely missing. And there are three things that I think are key to finding good leaders. And one of them is leaders that are willing to be sincere. Too often our leadership falls into the mode where they don't really believe what they're talking about, but it also is the train that keeps their wheel of election going. Whatever their situation is, whether it's national or local, they start saying things that they don't really mean, but that's what they think the populace wants to hear. We really need sincerity. The second thing that we look for is honesty. How many times have we seen elected officials go into local or national offices and they become something that we don't even recognize? It's because they start to compromise their message. They claim it's for the greater good, but more often than not, I suspect, it's more about, again, keeping that wheel rolling and keeping that election happening so that they stay in that seat of power. And the last thing, and honestly for me, the most important thing, is humility. So often when people move to leadership positions, whether they're public speakers or they're politicians or they're teachers or ministers or senators or whatever, is that they lose the ability to remember that they put their garments on the same way I put mine on, and we're the same. Just because they have the ability to affect 1,000 people with a pen stroke or 10,000 people doesn't mean that they're better than anyone else. Humility is that quality of being able to recognize that no matter how far you've gone, that you still have much to learn, that you still need to listen, and you still have the potential for growth. I always look for these three things in my leaders, and I highly encourage you look for those in yours as well. I'm Jeff Kennan. Have a great day.